what do you really appreciate? What's important to you? Like, what's really important to you?
Yeah.
Because you don't have forever, right? So what is important to you? Because you only have 24 hours in a day. So what's important to you? Find out what the that is and do more of that.
Yeah.
And try to figure out like how to make enough money so that you're not starving, that you're doing well.
Yeah.
But don't just chase that. Chase what you're trying to do. Like the point system attached to it, the monetary point system, it can get you all f***ed up because it'll get you working like 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day.
To get what?
To get more stuff. To get better stuff, to get more prestigious stuff, to get stuff that, you know, all your other stuff having friends are really jealous of your stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just choosing to look at everything that they can see, experienced every new place that they can go to. Well, it's just a weird standard that we've all accepted pretty much across the country. 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. Could you imagine? What a weird decision to make the most significant thing be the productivity. Everyone has a different personality. They have different interests, different things that they would be really satisfied pursuing. That's not encouraged. What's encouraged is go find a job. What's encouraged is go find some place that you can shove yourself into. Go find a square hole that you can stick your round peg and just jam it in there and shave down the top and the bottom so you slide in with all this extra space on the sides and feel like shit for the rest of your life because you need a job, because you're in debt, because you have credit cards, because you have student loans, because that's what everybody does. And so you do it too. That's what's wrong. What's wrong is that we don't give, it's like let them figure it out on their own, and it fucking takes forever. I knew one thing, I couldn't work like a regular job. Like I had to figure out something else because like there's the idea of, it was literally the idea of being in an office was like torture. You know, I just feel like people need inspiration and they need guidelines. And if as long as you could just start moving, just get action, like just movement. Don't be scared of failure. I think failure is awesome for you. And that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I like doing things that I suck at. You're just not challenged. You're not at the bottom of the heap. You know, if you start jiu-jitsu right now and you're a white belt, you're like, oh God, what the fuck? How could I ever get good at this? And it's humbling. But in that humbling thing, you learn about yourself, you learn about discipline, and you build up that engine, that muscle that is trying to work things out and figure things out. There is not one script in this country of how to make yourself happy. I think that's sort of disingenuous. This idea that the only way to make yourself happy is to do that. That's not what people are trying to do. What people are trying to do is be successful. And I don't think they necessarily equate success with happiness, but what they do equate success with is an alleviation of debt, an alleviation of problems, an alleviation of a lot of the issues that people face.
Certainly.
And they think of that as, if you look at the problems that you have when you're growing up, you look at the especially if you grow up in a poor family, one of the main problems that you face is you're worried about paying your bills. So you say, someday I'm going to get to a point where that is no longer an issue. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be successful. They're not doing it thinking this is going to make me happy. I very rarely see that, and which is one of the reasons why even people's parents, and this freaks me the fuck out, will tell them to not pursue their dreams, but instead to pursue something that's more likely to happen. Like, don't pursue your dream of becoming an actor or a singer or whatever it is. Instead, pursue your dream of being the foreman at the company you work at, because that's attainable. Well, the opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. Like, if I had to, as a 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz, if I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. The safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time. It's hell. It's hell. You're selling insurance or some other shit that you care zero about. And then you have to have a plan. And you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author and if you're gonna try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have, whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, god damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You gotta go. You gotta get after it. And you gotta have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something. I mean, it's a fucked up thing. I mean, it's a weird thing to say, but I really think we all collectively, as a species, need to emphasize and learn how to be nicer to each other. Nobody teaches you that. It's rare. They teach it to you in school, be nice. When you go to offices, there's certain standards of behavior that you're supposed to behave in, but there's not like an emphasis on kindness and just being friendly. And I think that doesn't diminish competition. I just think as a species, just the human race, especially us as Americans, because we're so goddamn competitive, gotta learn how to be nicer. If I have something that I fucked up, and then I have that terrible feeling, but I have to hang out with my family and my kids, I just ride it out. I just have to ride it out. I try to be real friendly and real sweet, but I don't feel good inside. I feel terrible. And I go, well, this is going to go away with contemplation, with understanding. This feeling's going to go away, but you got to ride it out, you know? And I know I can ride it out because I've wrote it out before. Yeah. But for some people, man, they don't know what to do there. Right. They don't know what that feeling is. They feel like this is their life. And then that feeling, if you don't conquer it, you get comfortable with it. You get used to it. You get used to failing. Yeah, be polite. And when people do that to you, you get a good feeling. You know, when someone holds open the door for you or someone says thank you, when you pick up the people's bags, you feel good. Let's tell kids that. Yeah. Let's teach people that. You pick up the bags, you feel good. You hold the door open, you feel good. You help someone, you feel good. Like, okay, this is obviously, we all want to feel good, right? How do we feel? Like, there's moments in my life where I feel terrible, where I've done something wrong, or I've fucked up something, or just failed, and I just feel terrible. And I always think when I do have that feeling, like, God, I fucking hate this feeling. Why can't I feel great? Why can't I just feel awesome right now? Well, because it didn't go well. And this is like the psychic reminder. This is that jolt of energy that's letting you know, like, hey, you went on a wrong path. You fucked up. You tanked this. You crashed that. You did wrong. Like, you're supposed to feel like right? So that you don't do it again. Yeah. But conversely, when something good happens, when you help someone, when someone can't get their bag in the overhead because it's too heavy, and you help them and you hand it to them, they smile at you and you smile at them, you walk off the plane, you feel good. You feel good. You got to teach that too. Like, you have to remember that, and you have to go, why do I feel so good? Oh, I felt so good because I helped that lady. Yeah. You know, I felt so good because I said hi to that guy, and that guy said hi to me back, and we looked at each other and go, you know, made some niceties or whatever. Yeah. And that's part of the joy of life, right? Is those friendly, fun, nice interactions with people. Yeah, but this is something I've cultivated for a long time, and avoided things that make me unhappy, and figured out what those things are, and been very rigid about eliminating them from my life. And one of the big ones is eliminating interactions with people that are negative. That is gigantic. And because I've realized that I'm not really as independent as I used to like to think I was. I used to like to think that my thought process was independent and that I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. That's nonsense. People say that because they absolutely care what people think, and it bothers them. So they say, I don't give a fuck. But that I don't give a fuck stuff is almost entirely nonsense. You do care. And you care in both ways. You care if people are critical of you, care if people are positive of you, but you also care if people are living positive lives and they're motivating you. That's a big one. People are fuel, and other people, it's one of the reasons why I like talking to people, one of the reasons why I like to do podcasts, because I get a lot out of, like just talking to you about your time in the monastery or your push to get to that 100 miles. Like, you get energy out of people like that, and you think about this energy and you think about this inspiration when you're doing other things. And it also sets in your mind that when you meet these exceptional people that move you, like, what are the characters, what are the qualities that they have, what are the characteristics that they possess, and those things become significant and important to you. Whereas if you live around a bunch of people that are complaining and bitching about everything, and they see the negative in everything, and they're always whining, those people are the opposite of that. They're the opposite of inspiration, and they're mud. You're just like, bleh. It's like you're up to your ankles in mud. You try to trudge through life. It's difficult. You're not light. It's not pushing you. There's not a wind at your back. The wind's in your face, and it's rough, and so managing the community and the tribe that you're in, making sure that you're a good member of that tribe, that you're doing your part, and there's a lot of cynicism in these days about inspiration and about motivation, because there's a lot of fake shit. You can go on Instagram and you see a million of these inspirational quote pages, and they're run by people that are probably depressed. You see a lot of people that are, talking about how to get ahead in life, but they're not really doing anything themselves. So there's a lot of cynicism involved in that. But there's also sincerity in it, and you can get, if you just look at it with a pure heart and a pure mind, you can get a lot of energy out of that. And when you're around happy, inspirational people that are successful, it makes you feel better and you get inspired. And if you act on that inspiration, your life will be more fulfilled. And it's not just inspirational in terms of financial success, but in terms of doing difficult things, whether it's running 100 miles, it doesn't pay you a goddamn thing other than the wealth of the knowledge that you can push yourself to such an extreme, or anything else, whether it's someone who becomes really good at playing chess, or someone who's really good at martial arts, or whatever it is. There's a great feeling in these overcoming these difficult things, because life is never this just constant state of, I'm at a 9 all day, and when I'm with my wife, I hit 10. Yay! And I stay like that. That's not real. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that think somehow or another you're going to get to some place where you're living in silk sheets and you're getting your toes done while someone's dropping grapes into your mouth. I don't want that. I've never wanted that. That guy's not going to be happy. He's going to be bored. An hour into the grapes, you're going to get the fucking grapes away from me. Stop painting my toes. What am I doing in this bed? I got to do something. I'm not stimulated. The human organism, the animal that we are, needs constant stimulation because it evolved trying to find food and escape enemies, and find shelter, escape nature, escape the elements, try to survive. And this is the great joy that you have in taking care of your children, that you can protect your children from the elements and the enemies and feed them. And it's also the great sadness that you see in losers. When I see a loser, I see some guy who's 43 years old, lives in his parents' basement, and he fucking hates the world. I'm like, that was a baby. Man, this is a baby that somebody just gave shitty nutrients to, whether it's nutrients in the forms of food or in the form of thoughts and ideas and examples. And this kid developed these horrible, self-defeating patterns of behavior that have led them to this point where they're this middle-aged person with no future and no idea of how to get out of this rut, and probably never will escape it, and might just wind up sucking on a gun. This is the world that we live in today. And I think part of that world is because we have been fed this line of horseshit that you're supposed to seek comfort. And I don't think you are. I think you're supposed to seek lessons, and you're supposed to seek difficult tasks and accomplishments. And through those things, and through doing things that are hard to do, even if it's just a fucking 90-minute hot yoga class. I do a 90-minute yoga class, man. Those last 20 minutes, I do not want to be there, man. And I definitely don't want to give 100%. And I can cheat. I can kind of half-ass it. I can. But if I don't, and I get through it. When that time is up and the lady says namaste and everybody gets up, I'm like, man, I made it. You know, I lost 15 pounds. My fucking yoga mat is drenched to the point where I can literally wring it out and fill a jug up with water. But through that struggle, I will now have a better day, and I better fucking do it again tomorrow or do something else, because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just gonna coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello sadness, my old friend. Hello depression, because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are, and we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Bullshit. You're a fucking human. You're a human being. You evolved from the fucking hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning, all those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person.